Hello there, this is Big Benedict. We're playing The Evil Within on Akumu difficulty mode, and this is chapter 10 of 15. It's entitled The Craftsman's Tools. So, we're making our way down this hallway here, and this is my favorite chapter. I have other favorite chapters too, coming up. However, the main reason that I love this chapter, and just for that reason alone, I guess it's the Blade Room. It's a very fun room, it's fair, and you could dish out deserved justice against enemies by having them get cut up by the blade. There's just no end to the fun, and no end to the feeling of retribution. So, it is more challenging on this mode, because they've thrown more enemies in at you. I think they've left the sniper count alone, but they put a few bear traps on the ground, so it's not too bad. I mean, once you get the hang of it, I was going to say once you get the hang of it, it becomes easy, but I had the hang of it within like the first 20 tries I was trying it, but it easily took me 40 to 50 tries to do it. And I was playing for about 3 hours today. But the difference is, I was enjoying every minute of my play session. And it was actually a divided session, so it wasn't 3 hours in total, right back to back. It was a couple of sessions. So, this guy is standard. He's always here on survival mode. He's hard to stealth, because the angles that the covers are at makes hiding from him really difficult. So what he tends to do is hop over this wall here. I'm going to try to make him go over there, but he just kind of ignored it. The main difference that you'll notice on Akumu mode is that once you get into that room, you'll have, I believe, an additional enemy, possibly. It is just 2 enemies, but I think it was only 1 before. And on the ground now, there's bear traps, but there's only a few of them. And how this works is that the bell won't go off and trigger the circus music and then the blade until this guy either sees you or you pass the invisible tripwire point. There's no way to do this room with complete stealth, because there's a point at which the game says, okay, you've been stealthy up until this point, but it doesn't matter. We have our rules. You need to start following them. So you noticed I've been stealthy here, and it doesn't even matter. But the placement of the ladder checkpoint is what was causing me so many issues, because you have to go a very far amount of space, and I think they've pushed back the checkpoint, in all honesty. So the main things you have to know about avoiding the blade is that when you're crouched and you hop over a wall, Gabriel will go from into a crouched mode. Well, first of all, let me talk about this. You'll have these guys rushing you. Sacrifice the flaming stick for the axe here. Pick up the axe, and then ask this bitch a question right here. There we go. What's your answer? She didn't have one, I guess, but stay low, because there's a sniper up ahead, and there's no checkpoint. And I have a hard time seeing where the sniper is, so it's going to give me ample time to discuss what I need to discuss about walking in the traps. Now, the only traps that will get you killed just by the mechanics of the game are the bear traps. Because what happens on the bear traps is that after he defuses the bomb, he'll get to his feet really quickly. Even if it's not completely erect on his feet, he'll try to stand up a little bit, and then it'll automatically snap down. So if you're trying to compensate, do not. Just let the game do what it wants to do. You will get the hang of it after you die. I've never died on it before, but because I know what's going on with the mechanics. I mean, maybe once or twice. I just can't remember. But the thing is, these are mechanics that you should have been fully aware of by now. But, okay, this guy looks like he's still shooting at me. I might not have headshotted him. You can defuse the ankle traps, and you can also pick up gel, but don't do. I don't even I don't even go out of my way to move the camera around to see where the blade is, because you'll hear the whooshing sound of the blade as it goes overhead. So it's a great indicator of where the blade is. So before you ever defuse a bear trap, wait until you hear the whooshing from straight overhead and then do it, because you'll see what happens in a minute. But we're basically trying to get this sniper gone. It is kind of weird that you can't aim from different shoulder perspectives, and I really wish this game had a center camera feature. It would just make sense, but this game is so old school. Like, school wasn't even in session when this game was being made, you know, like when the mentality of this type of game was being made. Corny joke, but you know what I'm talking about. So we're going to get these bullets here, leave the bottle down there. There's a use for all these things coming up, but for now we just need the checkpoint. And another thing, there's more enemies upstairs. There just has to be, because there's no way there is this many enemies coming up. So to get the checkpoint, you have to come up this ladder right here, and we're looking for a power supply to put in the generator. And I love this section so much. So get out. I would say get out your flash bolts. This is a hard section to stealth. I might even go so far as to say you can't stealth it. See, they're already on me. So we're going to stealth these guys. Very dangerous foe right there, because he's got the gun. How many? Okay, so you see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 enemies here, and I had to waste 2 flash bolts on these guys. And then there's another guy left, and he's coming at me. So now we need to put him down with a shotgun. The one resource that I'm always at a loss to have are matches, surprisingly. Okay, so let's put this glass sharded whale down. Put him out of his misery. There he goes. Okay, so this is the point at which I had big trouble today, because first of all, I just assumed there was a checkpoint sooner, and it's just a matter of acquainting myself with the new stipulations on this difficulty. But if you're struggling, don't fear this, because I know exactly what to do, and I'll guide you right through it. So pick up this stuff, and we're going to go get that power supply. Make sure you do all your looting. You might even, that is a flash bolt right there. What I would recommend is that you pick up the gel to the right of the power supply, so that after you get the checkpoint, you don't have to keep doing it. And there's nobody left. So what we're gonna do is put the sniper rifle on and get the sniper on the other side. So there's the crossfade. Come back here, and you're gonna see me do this really fast, because this was like my 50th try trying to do this. And like, this was just an honor to do this, because I love this section so much. Don't think I was struggling, or you know, you might think that I'm not very good at the game if I had to do it that many times, but you know, I had it perfected at this point. So drop down here, use the flash bolt, because we have a flash bolt back there. So stab this guy in the throat. Don't pick up his axe though. I'll tell you a better way of getting an axe, and using a bottle instead. So the reason I'm coming back up here is to replenish my flash bolt. The main reason I don't use an axe on the next pair of clowns is because they grab you right through the geometry, and like, even when you're swinging, it's bad. So come out here. There's a bear trap right here. Shine a light if you can't see it. But that might not have been the best example, but just wait until the blade fully is past you, and then do the bear trap. This trap over here, watch this. See, I'm going to jump. He's going to crouch and then rise to his feet. See that? Oh, well, you couldn't see it perfectly. These you don't have to. He won't get. He won't get up. So at this point, we're going to do a U-turn right here. There's 2 clowns coming, and hop over. Keep ducking. and we're going to see if we can get one or both of the foes in the clown masks killed. These ones are smart because they duck down. They duck down on Survivor too, so it's nothing new here about heightened intelligence. So, that is just such justice right there. However, you will normally get one of those guys killed. If you get the second guy killed, if you get one of the two killed, just throw a bottle at him and then stab him from inside the safety of their... I would say that that's the best route to take. And then take the axe with you. Over here, there's a bear trap to get. Remember, see, watch, I'm going to wait until it passes over me. Because look what he does. See, he gets to his feet, and then he gets down. But I had nothing to do with him snapping back to his feet. That's all computer. So, you can get pretty creative here and have all the enemies come out if you want to. But beware, there is an enemy with a gun. Now, there is a glass on the window is not empty, it's glass. Now this guy here will rise from the grave, as will the other guy, so I'm going to put 2 rounds into his face. Or do I? Oh no, I decided to use these matches. I thought this was a better strategy. And then get the fuck out of the room, duck down, and see if anybody follows you. Yeah, if someone's following me... I love that shit. It's so fitting that these fuckers get that penalty. So, come on, motherfucker. Come on, there you go. So that's all the enemies. But there is one more corpse. You see that right there? This is glass. And the most bullshit part about this is that the sniper can hit you through the glass and the glass doesn't even break. It's one of those things that it's so egregious and offensive that, you know, not only won't the glass break, but it'll just shoot you right through the glass. Like, the bullet completely disregards the glass and shoots you, and it doesn't work the other way around. So now I'm going to pick up this axe and head back here. I don't think I was able to hang on to this axe, just because even if you reload your gun, you drop your side weapon. I just love the tension of this whole part. But I did make a mistake over here. I made the mistake of assuming that this body wouldn't rise from the grave. And if you're wondering what kind of reference that is, it's from a game called Altered Beast that I played as a kid on the Sega Genesis. And I watched a playthrough of it recently. Now, I'm gonna sacrifice this right here. Just because I was struggling on this too many times. And okay, you see, the reason I didn't match him right away was because sometimes he doesn't get to his feet, and I don't know why. They sometimes do and sometimes don't. I think it has to do with how many bodies you stacked up and killed before you approach them. I don't know what it is, but I've had times when I got the checkpoint and I've been trying to kill the sniper, and that body's just lying there the entire time, and even when I'm leaving the room. So smash the glass with your weapon, and the sniper won't appear until you put this in. And I have a hard time locating the sniper on both snipers. You can see the flare of his scope, but you see, my eyes can't get acclimated to the new geometry. Like, I can't. But seriously, do not get killed here. I got killed here the first time. I also got killed at the very end, where I assumed there would be a checkpoint, but my assumption was made in vain because I died. Okay, so where is this guy? There he is. Okay, so we got a headshot. But don't just wander back, because the second you do that, the second you get a bullet in your back because you think you got a headshot, but you only hit him in the chest or the shoulder, and he's still alive. But just realize there's no checkpoint. However, there's no more encounters. You've just got to be careful as you make your way over here. You know, we've diffused all the traps. There's going to be a little edit over here because I forgot to get something. I think it was the axe. I was looking for the axe. What was I doing here? I think I was looking, I'm looking for my axe. And then I went back for something else too. Maybe. I don't know. Oh yeah, I went back because the door didn't look like it was opened. And I assumed the checkpoint was right here. But as long as you do what I say over here, you won't die. You know, if you go on the ladder and press the circle button or the B button, whatever pad you're using, you're gonna be dead because the monstrosity down here will kill you. So you have to. I mean, I don't even know. I've never pressed the O button, but I have. Well, yeah, I think I have. I had to have because he killed me. But just wait a few seconds here, and then go. And then we're going to make our way up here. And then we'll finally get a checkpoint. But you see all the stuff we've had to put up with thus far? Here's a flash bolt. The flash bolts are going to be working well for us once we collect them. They cost 4 to craft. But whenever you see me being extremely tentative, it's because I'm at that point where I could lose a lot of progress, and I don't want to run into any traps that may be on this new difficulty that I'm unaware of. Okay, so anyway, now it's your job to go get the statue here. So shoot it, and then when you come in here, get the gel 500, and then get this key. The blades will be coming down on you in a minute. It's important to know that when you're crouched like that, you can neither melee nor shoot. So you have to. There's going to be another instance coming up with a goddess statue behind some traps of torture that you're going to have to do the same thing. You're going to have to shoot it from outside. So you see the main door. Once we circumvent this entire area, we can clear the chapter. Now there's a Ruvik clone coming up, so what I'm going to do is use an explosive bolt right over here to kill the majority of these guys and possibly get Ruvik. Because one touch from anybody and you're dead. So there he is right there. We're going to axe him. And if you want to avoid kicking enemies that are nearby, you hold the left trigger and then use the axe button. It's the game's way of compensating for what would otherwise be broken mechanics. So in this room, you might think that I'm pretty insane about getting the traps and collecting them, but I'm going to do this, and it's going to come, like, there's one part at the end of the dual trauma fight where I had a free ticket out of the room, but because I'm so obsessed with getting these traps, I took the risk of defusing two more traps, and I could have failed. Now I think this guy comes alive here. Yeah, you need to burn that guy. So, burning is good, but again, I have a 10 count capacity for matches, but I only have 2. So there's been times when I thought the game has been broken because it wouldn't put the match on, but then I looked at my inventory and I have 0 matches, so I kind of felt like a goddamn idiot. So it's just up to you about these traps. That is a frost bolt. I think we've cleared out all the enemies, but unless you're completely familiar with these rooms, just make sure that you don't stumble into a bear trap. Okay, we do need this power cell here. And will she... This is one of those dilemmas, like, will she animate or not? She would have. See how she's flailing? And because she was so close to a bomb, I didn't want to try to aggro her. I'm getting pretty good at those bombs. I can get normally... On my best day, I can get 9 out of 10 on a bad day, it's 7 out of 10. These traps here, I don't know if they give you 1. Sometimes they won't give you any for some odd reason. Oh, another one. Yeah, she needed to have been burned. So with the shotgun, there really is no need to kneecap, especially if you have it maxed out. You can just go for headshots to get kills, but kneecapping is still, it's very effective in this game. I have heard people complaining about it, that it doesn't work as well as in Resident Evil 4, but I don't know anything about that game because I've never played it. I never will play it. And that doesn't mean I don't want to play it because I don't think it's good. It's just that I can't see myself ever playing that game. So we're almost going to get that checkpoint, you guys. And this part was causing me a lot of agitation up here, for the simple fact that every time you die, you have to... Well, I'll show you where it is. It's just one of those sections. You know the drill. You can't just start the fight. You have to do a task, watch a scene, let it play out, and then do the fight. And at this day and age, it can't be about loading. It's human laziness about not putting a checkpoint in the correct place. But I hate this lighting. I just see the glare of the lamp is even worse. So I thought this was a door over here, but it isn't. And in a minute, we're going to be facing a trauma. They're called traumas. The first one is optional, and I would even go so far as to say that the second pair, even though the first one is not in a pair, like the two you face afterwards, I strongly suspect that if you stack a bunch of shock bolts, you could probably turn the crank in time. Especially if you have, if you've maxed it out, I would say that it's completely doable. But this is the part that is egregious here. You have to do this every single time. So what's going to happen is the traumas are going to come out of that bay. But first of all, we're going to have to fight 4 enemies. So what I would put on is the shotgun for crowd control, and also the flash bolt. So there's going to be one dropper in it. There he goes. There's the dropper. He'll drop an axe. So just, this is the way the game is supposed to work. See, you get enemies clustered and they're all supposed to burn up. But you see, why didn't that guy with the axe get burned up? The answer was the fire was extinguishing by that point. It just wasn't fresh enough fire. So the next part's a little bit difficult because you're either going to get an old lady who charges you, which is ideal, or you're going to get a fat piece of shit who, if you hit with the axe, he still won't even die. He takes 2 axes. I've never seen that before. It's ridiculous. And then the trauma will come out. So I didn't get the fat guy, so I can't example what you should do. If you get the fat guy, I would just kite him. And explosive bolts might be risky. However, see, you'll either get this, which is the woman, slash and bash, and the fat guy is not here because she was there, but the fat guy is right around the corner, like right where that screen is on the ground. So here's the trauma. The best thing to do on these guys, aside from killing them, I just think that if you can get away with not killing these guys, it's better for you because you waste fewer resources. So what I'm going to do is lead them over here, and then when you pull the switch, though, you're going to have more enemies spawning. Not many, but the nice thing is, once you lay down this, and I'm going to be upgrading this a little bit further. I think I only have it at level 1, or level 2 or 3. Just take care of this guy. See, I was getting really paranoid right there, but the trauma won't pass by this area here. These guys will. And I think once you set this in motion, the blade over here stops. Does it stop coming up and down or not? But what I'm aiming for in there is the god statue. Did I hit it? I'm not sure. But the trauma backs off. And I've hit the statue. But I didn't know I hit it. I was in such a confusion of emotions here. But all you need to do is go behind it. You will not get killed. You're safe behind it. And as I mentioned before, if you're back in here and you're trying to melee or shoot the statue, it won't work. So that's the end of the trauma business. And I honestly don't think that he adds to the next guy and makes two. Because if he didn't, or excuse me, if he did, there would be possibly three. But I think it is just a pair that you're dealing with in the next part. So when those go to the left side, you're free and clear to go over to the ladder. But don't forget to have a look around over here and pick up this gel over here. So you still have no checkpoint, but there's nobody left. You don't have to worry about the trauma. You might be able to hear him moving around below. That's a good way to not deal with him. So let's get these here. And we're coming up on one of the final sections. We also have to deal with Laura too. But once you get this far, you're free and clear. You're just going to need to drop and get yourself a checkpoint. And I need some water. Okay, so when you drop in here, the enemies are as follows: 2 traumas and 2 haunted. You can very easily stealth kill this guy here. Just avoid the bottle, avoid the bucket, don't make any noise, turn your light off, and take this guy out. What I wanted to do was, and you'll see it in this gameplay. Did he see me? If he saw me, all bets are off. I'm going for this now. I'm going to dismantle all of these, even at my own peril. What I want to do here is I want to put a sniper rifle bullet into the other haunted that I mentioned, because the haunted number 2 here. And then after that, I wanted to lure the traumas to the far back room over here and stack shock bolts on them, because my shock bolts are not upgraded very high. At the most, they're at level 3. If they're at level 5, I wouldn't have to stack so many. But now this guy's on to me, I believe. So he's going to rush me, and the traumas know where I'm coming. And, excuse me, they know where I am. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use shock bolts to shock and stun, and then explosive bolts. It is a bit wasteful, but I mean, this is one of those sections where I'm a little bit, and I don't know for certain if you can make it to the door and not kill these guys. I would say if you stack like 3 shock bolts, they would probably get stunned so long that you could get the door open. But again, the door, it's one of those doors that does take a long time to open. So I think they dropped 3,000 a piece of the gel. And no checkpoint here, guys. And I go for every single trap, because in my mind, like, why, I don't want to leave them behind, and I just want to press my luck. So there's a bear trap. There was a bear trap over here that I didn't dismantle. It's not here. It's right where the screen is over there, like right in front of me. I'm looking for it. It must have gotten killed by all the chaos. Nobody will rise from the dead over here. There is one more bear trap. And I was thinking to myself, should I just dismantle the bear trap and then open the door? Because I know nobody's left. But my greed surfaced, and I said, I'll press my luck. How many are there? I think there's 2. You know, this could be a bad day for me, and I could get into one of those streaks where I'm at 7 out of 10, and I could fail these. But the thing about these is, you get into a really good groove of successes against them. You know, the coast was definitely clear here, but it's... How do I describe the bombs? They're not easy, for sure, but they're not hard either. So I said to myself, should I make a break for it? There's one left, I might as well take care of it. But if I die, I'm going to have to do that fight over again. And I barely made that one right there. And the thing was, I could have got into a perpetual downward spiral of me repeatedly doing that fight, and then me repeatedly compelled to get those traps, and then screwing up on them so many times. So you've got to just take what you can. So as of yet, we have not had the opportunity to officially save our progress. But you see, I think you could easily stack those shock bolts and flee from those traumas. I'm talking about if you get them in the room where you land originally. And the reason I say stack is because I think they all add up and give you more time. But I'm not 100% sure about that. But at the very least, just kill them. I mean, you're going to get a lot of gel for your troubles, and if you've been hoarding the trap parts like me, you should have plus 50, maybe a little less, maybe even more, maybe 70, I'm not sure. Okay, so this is the room where we originally were. And for a point of reference, I'm just going to kick this door. That's where we shot the explosive bolt at Ruvik earlier. So now we've come full circle, and we will be able to get teleported via the mirror back to the insane asylum and start upgrading. I find it funny when the nurse says, what does she say? She says, the worrying type, I see. Kind of a joke to the player who keeps coming back to save it. Here's some gel, easily overlooked. But I found that funny when she says that, because she's obviously speaking to the players who keep coming back and keep wanting to save their progress. But in a game like this, I mean, anytime it doesn't always let you do it in the first place. So the door is right. You'll hear the music. Just get this gel, and before we face Laura, we'll go in here and save our progress. Okay, so after you've saved it, we're going to take on the Laura boss fight. Just as before, we're not going to kill her. You can kill her. I have tried it. But I believe you would need the rocket launcher or the brass knuckles, neither of which I know how to obtain. So we're just going to flee from her. I could probably shoot like 10 explosive bolts into her and a bunch of shotguns, but it's a waste of resources, completely wasted. So this is phase 1 of the fight. You want to stay around her at first because the gates are going to slowly raise. And once they do, just sprint over to them, duck under them, and it could be a close call here. You see how close that was? they usually will kill you. So just manage your stamina here. And this took about, honestly, I had one session when I was doing phase 3. I ended my session. I saw that my source file was an hour and 45 minutes. And I could do it easily now within like 5 minutes because I know how to do it, but it's just figuring it out and deciding, do I want to kill her? Because if you kill her, you have access to a goddess statue as well as a bunch of loot on the other side of the elevator. If you flee from her, you just run to the elevator and you don't have access to the items. So this is the best way, and you have to follow exactly what I do here, otherwise it'll deviate and you're not going to get the same results that I get as far as where she decides to go and what her path is. So the items are actually in this room on the side. We're going to be hitting switches, but the switches will only work so far as causing, you see this, we have to wait for the flames to die down here. So like sometimes a switch will immediately lower the flames, and this is phase 2. She's gonna pop out right here, and I take the harder way, namely I defuse these bombs. The first one is right here, and as long as you sprint in here past the circle area, you're safe, because he closes the door behind him even though you didn't see him. So dismantle this bear trap right here and then pull this lever, and then she's going to come out of one of the furnaces. And okay, so this switch here, hitting that, it doesn't hinder your progress. It actually can put you in a jam. See, like this, see, she came that way. If she came the other way, I could have burned her a little bit, but we're not trying to kill her, we're just trying to flee from her. So one of the awkward things that this character does is, from a standing position, when you accelerate rapidly, sometimes he'll do this jerking move that it has no iframes. Like nothing has iframes in this game except one little part coming up. It's really unique that I figured out by sheer accident. But we're waiting. What we're doing here is we're waiting for the flames to lower. Keep your stamina up so that you can sprint to the ladder. Okay, so the flames have gone down. So just come over here. If you're too low on the ladder when she's nearby, she can grab you off. But as long as you're like halfway up, you're fine. So over here, what you want to do is avoid the bear trap to the left. Keep your stamina going. Come all the way up here. Avoid the bear trap. Okay, watch this. I'm going to turn the lever. And did you see this? I have iframes because what happened is she stumbled in the bear trap. So now I'm going to go back here and I'm going to kite this area so that she could possibly get stuck in this bear trap over here. You can see how I ran past it, and did she get stuck? I think she may have got stuck. So now it's still a waiting game. There may be more switches that I'm not aware of, but you're still going to have to wait regardless. And as long as you can just revolve around this block here and make it in here, you're completely safe if you know how to hit this switch here. I hit it too early before it had buffered into the environment fully, and then open the door, and then that's the end of phase 2. But that is a tough phase if you don't know what's going on. So this phase here, I elect to shoot this. Do I get greedy? Yeah, I got greedy for the bear trap. And now there's one more. So I think there's one more. Okay, so she could also get caught in the bear trap too, which is kind of funny. And then we'll come over here, shoot this. That will instantly lower this. Grab the gel if you want to. It's 500. Come down here, and you have to do this exactly as I do it. Use the spread of the shotgun, and then she will come over here. And then if you do it this way, she'll come out of this body every single time. And now it's imperative, once you light her on fire, wait till she manifests. Light her on fire. You have iframes. Shoot this. Come over here. Shoot that. And then as she's coming out, drop a match. And now she's going to come out of this body. It's the only body left. And then immediately get on the lever. if you fail to get the context button right away, she'll grab you. You have to get on this thing very rapidly. It's a very tight call. So now the only thing left to do is just run around the room, and I'm going to use a shock bolt. Can't go that way. I'm going to use a shock bolt. Let's see, I can use one here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this, and I have nowhere to run right now, so I'm going to use a shock bolt so that I have enough time, and then once the flames have died down, you can go this way. But that took almost 2 hours, you guys. Oh, I missed that cutscene. I'm sorry about that. So I'm going to speed this up. So if you do have the rocket launcher, you can take her out. She just has an inordinate amount of HP, and we still have another boss to deal with too. But I feel that way is a good way to just use very little resources and just get through with it. Because this play style, like I said, I don't even know how to get the rocket launcher. I unlocked hardly anything from beating the campaign, and it's just, I think it's futile to try to take her out with the weapons we have. Plus, we have a hard level coming up as well. We have a tough boss, and we have a tough chapter coming up. Chapter 11 is a difficult one. So when we come down in here, grab the gel, and I've edited this out. It's a save room right here, so save your progress. Okay, we're coming up on the boss of the chapter. It is called the Amalgam Alpha. Later in the game we'll fight the Amalgam, but for now, this is what we're contending with, that thing up there. It's like it's an enemy with an eye at the end of a tentacle, and you can shoot the eye to get to the next phase, but I just like to kind of muscle my way through it. But see, I did the boss at first, but I was wasting too many of the explosive bolts, and I think on this fight I may have used like 1, 2, 4, 5, maybe 6 or 7, and I think that's pretty decent, and a couple of grenades as well. So I just think that the fight is a little bit too prolonged to do both sections. It's kind of up to you. You can shoot the eye and keep hiding, but it just takes a long time. You will get the second phase eventually. So if you want to do the strategy where you're just standing there, you just want to stand behind the pillar and keep shooting it. I was doing it for a while. Boy, that is a loud fan. So, okay, so here's the boss fight here. What I'm going to do is use the main gun just to hit the eye twice, just to show you how it's done. It's not anything that needed to be explicitly shown, but okay, so every time you hit the eye, it will fall down, and it doesn't know where you are, because I think the riders on him are blind. I think that's how it works. I could be wrong. But you're safest after you've shot the eye if you want to run around. You can hide under cars if you want to, but you can only do that for so long because it has a ground level eye attack. So just watch this. You'll have a laugh. You could place up to 5 here, like one on either side, 1 on top, 2 on bottom, 2 on top. It's going to do stacked damage. So I decided I'll just use 4 of these. And the thing about this is that he will run into the office. You can't stand there forever, though, because he'll eventually grab you right through the walls. So what I'm going to do, this is what I would do. Throw a grenade when he's coming back. And at this point, he knows where you are, obviously. If you do anything that's not hitting the eye, he'll know where you are. So come in here, replace the grenade, and just make sure that you stand as far back as possible. You will not ever get hit by the damage of the exploding bolts. But when he does this, shock him. That's the only way you're going to get out of that room. If you shock him when he's in the door, you can't. If you even touch him, you'll get hit. So that's the best way, because he will move back. And at this point, I decided to use, how many do I use here? 3. So at this point, it's already phase 2, no checkpoint. So I use 4. I think I use 4 on each door. I mean, it is kind of wasteful, but I didn't have to use that many grenades, and then finish them off with the sniper rifle. With the sniper rifle, you should have a pretty high level, and that's the end of the fight. Pretty smooth fight, but that's the basic strategy. And then at this point, you will see a crossfade or a trans. I never know what these are called. Crossfades, transitions, whatever the hell it is. It's one clip into another, but make sure you loot the entire place. But that's it. Chapter 10's done. I will see you in Chapter 11. Thanks for watching.